see, our MC is this much, and our cost is here. Look at the difference here. So this is MC, and this is our ATC, right? So if we produce even here, so that is our MC, and this is our ATC, right? Until we reach a point where MC is equal to ATC, which means we are on an efficient scale. So if we go from here, then we are in a good shape. Why? Because our marginal cost is higher and our every total cost is less, right? So it means this section above the every total cost, on or above the every total cost curve. This can be a replica for supply curve. And the down section here, you see the down section here, because at here, it is not profitable to produce here, so no supplier will be supplying you the goods below the every total cost, right? So it means MC is a replica for supply curve, yes, but cannot be 100%. So we use a term which call this proxy, right? Understand? Now answer this question. Please forget about this right now, the short run stuff here. It's true, false. True, false. Dijodi, naam.
True.
I think it's true also.
Well done. We just saw that, right? Okay. Because the firm's marginal cost curve determines the quantity of goods the firm is willing to supply at any price, the marginal cost curve is also the competitive firm supply curve, right? Demand curve, we already know that demand curve, price is equal to AR is equal to MR, which is straight line. And this is the MC, which is supply curve. Since the MC, it differs from company to company. So we need to be very clear about that. This MC, for example, this is the MC curve for one at the company A. Then company B can also claim that this is my MC. No, because this is competitive firm's supply curve, not the market supply curve, firm supply curve, right? So every company has its own MC, own cost structure, so it has its own MC. So MC can be a proxy for supply curve. That's it for that company. And regarding the firm's short-run decisions to shut down. So we'll talk about this, and then we are going to end our discussion here. And then we'll start in our next lecture. We'll complete the phase of shutdown and exit. So what we have learned up till now, we have learned that from cost of production chapter that we need to produce where our cost is minimum, right? And then we talk about that if our cost is minimum, if we produce over there, would it be effective by market structure? Yes. Why? Because we saw an example, if we increase 20% price, some markets, they will see a loss of customers, and some, they don't see a loss of customers. It means we are in a different type of structure. We need to study that one. Number one structure is competitive market. In competitive market, we talk about that there are a number of buyers number of sellers, so that nobody control the price. It means both are price takers. If both are price takers, it means price is constant, price is determined by the market, and those who can compete the price, they will stay, and those who cannot compete the price, they will exit the market, or they will go out from the market. We call this free entry and exit. There is no barrier from the government or anyone else. You are free to leave. And then we talk about that if we are in competitive market, can we produce at our minimum or efficient scale of every total cost? Answer, no, because now we need to compare the price as well. It's not about that we need to produce just by looking at every total cost. No, we need to also see the price in the market. And now we are like surprised, and we are also worried. In order to find out the maximum profit, we need to go through a lot of formulas, a lot of tabular forms. So thanks to our economists, they give us the condition that where you need to produce to get the maximum profit, where MC is equal to MR. So if you produce where MC is equal to MR, you will get the maximum profit. So we saw that the condition MC is equal to MR will give you the production point where you need to produce. You need to produce that quantity. What do we mean by that? If we produce that quantity, so production of that quantity will give you a minimum cost. So when you sell that quantity into the market, your profit will be maximum. We saw that if you produce beyond MC is equal to MR, your profit will decrease. If you produce less than the MC is equal to MR, you still have chance to increase the profit by producing more. Of course, then you will produce more to explore or to get that extra profit, right? And then we talk about that the market is determined by demand and supply. We know that demand is determined by the buyers, and normally it is the price line. Then what is the supply? Then we saw that in a supply, if price increase, quantity supplied also increase. So it means in the cost structure of a company or of a firm, one cost curve behave like supply curve, and we call that this is the MC, right? So if we increase the price here, market price here, so our MC curve states that you need to produce more. So with price increase, quantity also increase. So it means we can say that the MC is equal to the supply curve of a company. But then we see this downside picture that it cannot be the 100% case. Then we can say that, okay, we can consider MC as a replica or as a proxy for, the better word is proxy for the company. But that MC is for company A, so it will be the supply curve of company A, because every company has its own cost structure, right? And now we completed our discussion and we are into the short-term decisions and long-run decisions. Up till now, what we have covered the general idea. And now we dive deep into short-run and long-run. So short-run decision is called shutdown. So what is shutdown? Let's talk about this. Till yet, we have been analyzing the question how much a competitive firm will produce. So there are certain circumstances the firm will choose to shut down and not produce anything. So a shutdown refers to a short-run decision not to produce anything during a specific period of time because of current market conditions. So what happened due to some market fluctuation, things are not in company's favor, and the company say that we cannot compete the market price because our cost is higher and the market price is lower. So it's better to shut down. Why? Because if we produce more, then it will increase our loss, right? We have a fixed cost, we have a variable cost that make up total cost. So if we produce more, we will be incurring our variable cost, because fixed cost, we cannot eliminate that, because whether we produce 1 unit or whether we produce 2 unit, 10 unit, we have to pay the fixed cost. But if we produce more, our variable cost is going to increase, which will be increasing our total cost, and we are already in a loss, then our profit going to be decreased so much. So it's better to shut down. We still have to pay the fixed cost, but we choose not to produce temporarily unless the market condition, it becomes better, then we resume our production. But that is a short run decision. So many students, they confuse with the word shutdown, and they automatically assume that it means shut down permanently. No, shutdown in economics is a temporary strategy or short run strategy in which a company opts not to produce temporarily, and they will start or they will resume their production after some time. Exit is a long run decision to leave the market permanently. You are not considering to coming back. Okay. So shutdown, the firm's shut down if the revenue it gets from producing is less than the variable cost. That's a little bit worrisome. How? I just give you the example of total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. In shutdown, we still have to pay fixed cost, we still have to pay the salaries of the head offices, we still have to pay rent of the factory, right? Because we are shutting down for small number of days or for temporary. We still have to pay rent, still have to pay CEO salaries, supervisor salaries. We can avoid wages because wages, the workers are on daily wages, we can avoid that, but we cannot avoid the supervisor salary, the accountants, the CEOs, just like that. So if the price is less than average variable cost, then we go for shutdown. If the price is greater than average variable cost, we cannot go for shutdown. Why? Because in order to have shutdown, the condition for shutdown is that by by producing more, you are incurring more variable costs, so you are incurring more losses. So this will only happen if price is greater than average variable cost. So shutdown condition is if your total revenue is less than your variable cost, which means your total revenue, which is market price into quantity sold, is not even covering your variable cost, which means the cost of raw material, cost of labor, and manufacturing overhead, right? If you convert that one, if you put TR, make it average. So condition is if price is less than every variable cost, then you choose that. We are not opening our factory because by producing more, even if we are not selling, by producing more, we are having more losses because market price is not in a favorable condition right now. So if you don't understand right now this analysis, so don't worry about that. We will, discuss one more time right after our midterm exam. So just focus. I'm going to end our discussion here. Just wait a second. Yeah.